Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, I'm going to be going over needs versus the best available player in the AFL draft to see which one is the better choice for AFL clubs. And both these options do come with their own risks and rewards, which are the needs versus the best available player. Now, I'm pretty sure you probably know what these are. Needs is like what a club needs. Example, if you're a club looking for a key back, then a need would be a key back. Meanwhile, say for example, the best available player is a midfielder. What do you choose? Say for example, this midfielder, your pick is number 4. This midfielder is the best available player in the draft, and the first best key back comes at pick number 8. What are you going to do? Well, in this video, I'm going to find out what are the risks and the goods, the bads. What is the best thing to do? Should you take a need or should you take a best available? Let's go ahead and find out. Alright, so starting off with needs, what are the good parts of a need? Well, it's filling a team need. Now, filling team needs are important. You want to get the best available team out there, and you do want to, there is kind of a pattern to follow. You do want to kind of have at least 2 key backs and 2 key forwards, which means you'd want a mix of medium and smaller defenders and forwards as well. So that's kind of that. You'd obviously want 2 wingers with probably another defender, winger and forward on the bench. You probably want another ruckman on the bench or as a medical substitute as well. And then you'd want all your midfielders as well in there as well. And then having some versatile mid forwards can be pretty handy. So filling a team need, you do want to get the best players out on the field for sure. Could be very important for the next season. Very important if you need a team need, if you badly need a key defender. Especially if you're looking at the top of the draft, that could be not a bad option. Will serve you good in the long run for that position. You'd hope so. You can't guarantee that, but you'd hope that it would serve you good in the long run with the position, especially if you're filling a team need. You do feel like you have gotten a bit of reward out of it. Still could be one of the best players in that position, and still could be one of the best players in the draft as well. Something has worked. You feel like something has worked, regardless of whether you've done something right. Even if it doesn't work out, you still do feel like you've taken a need and could be transformed into another position. Now, the bad is that you are missing out on the best available player at the time. Now, a win-win scenario would be the best available player is a needed player, but, I mean, the chances of that happening are unlikely, but you could be missing out on the best available player. Could be risky as well. Sometimes needs may not turn out just as well as you want. Let's take Fisher McCasey for an example. A really good example as well is Fisher McCasey. Now, he was drafted as a key defender, top 10 for the Adelaide Crows back a couple of years ago. Played as a key defender and actually didn't look too bad in his draft year. But then, over time, once he played for the Adelaide Crows, he actually played pretty good in 2020, but never found a senior spot since. And that's why it could be risky. May take time. That's probably the same with Fisher McCasey. Will take some time and may not fire in that position. All these things are quite relevant to Fisher McCasey. And then some of the players that really did a couple of picks below pick 8, Fremantle took Caleb Sarong. So you do see there that he may not have been the best available player at the time, Fisher McCasey, and again, sometimes a need can be risky. Meanwhile, if you do take the best available player, you might know a little bit more about them compared to a need, perhaps. Now, the best available player, obviously the best in the draft to that point, which is really good. Getting something good, you feel good because you've taken the best available player, which means another club cannot snare him. You'd think it'd be a classy talent and definitely a safe option as well. Now, when you do go for needs, you can be looking a long way down the order. So let's say, for example, your pick is at 25 and you need a key forward, and the next key forward is likely to land around pick 44. What are you going to do? Well, that changes things altogether. There's again a couple of options. You can take a key back and take a risk of versatility, but the best available player at the time is going to be a safe option. So pick 25 may be a last pick, and you won't be able to take that player. I would take the best available player there. I would not take the chance with a need that's going to be a fair way down the order. Could go straight into the team or if not be a great depth player. That's big. Now, I'm going to use Brisbane as a bit of an example here for this one. Now, Brisbane, they've got Will Ashcroft, Jasper Fletcher, both coming into the side. They had Josh Dunkley, the addition of the trade period, to add to McCluggage, Zorko, Neal, Lions. So they've already got quite a stacked midfield. So again, I feel like maybe Ashcroft and Fletcher might be a depth player for start before they go straight into the team perhaps. So the best available player will still be a great depth player no matter what. So that's still not a bad idea for the best available player, because sometimes it can be midfielders, and regardless, even if you do have too many of them, will still be a great depth player. Now, though, the bads of also that is it could provide too much depth and make a tough list call for the end of the year. Now, another great example of this is Geelong. Now, Quinton Narkle, we know that he's a delisted free agent. Very unlucky. Will he find a brand new home? We're not sure about that just yet, because the Cats just have way too many great midfielders. They're looking to get in Jai Clark, and they've just brought in Tanner Bruin, Oliver Henry, Jack Bowes that can all play in that midfield, and then obviously Bruin and Henry can play mid forward as well. So that's what makes those tough calls. That like a great player like Narkle still has to be delisted because they've just got too much midfield depth. Could miss out on a needed player. Again, that's another big one, especially depending on where your picks fall. If you've got, like, say, for example, pick 15, then the best next available player is at pick 18, and you don't have a pick there, you could miss out on a needed player, which could be better than what you think. May not be as great as thought the best available player could be, but it's not really that risky, and maybe an overrated player, because we do know that all the hype to the draft can be big, and some players in the draft can be overrated as well, so that could be a problem with the best available player as well. So what is better? In my opinion, I do feel like it really does come down to where the picks stand at. Because as I said before, if you've got a pick at 25 and then your needs at 44, you're not going to take the need because it's going to be a risky option to do that. So you take the best available there. So for long range picks, you take the best available. But say, for example, you've got a pick number 10 and the need falls at pick number 12, and there's not really a lot of difference between the two players, I would take the need, especially if it's a desperate need as well. That's what I would do. So there we go. We've uncovered the difference between needs and best available, and which one is better in two different scenarios, long range picks and close range picks. So let's go ahead, hop into the outro. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys next another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.